When I say thank you, you say, right. And when I say gracias, you say, all right. And when I say dankeschön, you say, all right. And when I say domo arigato, you say, I guess that's fair enough for the Styx fans out there. Yes, or doitashimashite for those who remember they're Japanese. Now, if I say knock knock, you say, right? And when I sneeze, you say, all right. So certain words call for a response, just as certain actions call for a response, just as certain situations call for a response. My message is short this morning, but for our children, I've included 7 knock-knock jokes. So pay attention, because when I say them, I want you to help me out. All right? Knock-knock. Gladys. Glad it's almost Thanksgiving, aren't you? Now, speaking of Thanksgiving, I imagine that most of us here have heard of the Mayflower, the ship that the Pilgrims came across the Atlantic on their way here. The Pilgrims were from England, and they were sailing to Virginia, where it is very warm. But they ended up in Plymouth, which in the winter especially is extremely cold. So they agreed before they left their ship to bind their lives and fortunes together to take care of each other, because they weren't sure what they were going to find when they got off the ship. That agreement is called, as we know, what's it called? Mayflower Compact, right? And so the young agreed to take care of the old, and the old agreed to take care of the young and the children and the babies, and everyone agreed to make sure that everyone else survived. The healthy took care of the ill, and they agreed to this. It wasn't so much a contract as it was a promise, or we might say a covenant. Now, some of you will remember when Reverend Tamara Labach came forward and this month, and she brought a stick, and she showed how one stick by itself is kind of weak. You can break it pretty easily, a single stick. But when you put a whole bunch of sticks together, it's a lot harder to break a bunch of sticks when they're together. And it's like that with people too. When we get together in community, we're stronger. And so the ribbons that are holding the stick together are like the Mayflower Compact was holding the Pilgrims together, and like the covenant of this church, which we just recited a little bit earlier, is like the ribbon that holds us as a community together despite our differences. As a church, we promise each other that how we will act together and help take care of each other and be together. So whether you're young or old, rich or poor, healthy or ill, a believer of one kind or another or not, whoever you are, wherever you come from, we agree that for those who ascribe to the covenant of this church, you are part of the All Souls family, and we take care of each other. Now, this is a connection that we have with the Pilgrims. But did you know what happened after the first winter, after they arrived in Plymouth? Almost half of them died that first winter of cold, starvation, and illness. It was awful. It was tragic. Imagine. Now, the Native American Indians who lived near Plymouth were called the Wampanoag, and they were led by their chief, who was named Massasoit, and they brought food to the Pilgrims during that winter from their own store of food to try to help them to survive. And when spring came, the Wampanoag Indians taught the surviving Pilgrims how to plant corn and other crops for food and how to catch animals so that they could survive in this new world. So that when it was almost winter in the second year, the Pilgrims had a lot of food to eat. A lot of food to eat to keep them fed through the winter. Knock, knock. Do we? Do we have enough food to last through the winter? And the answer was yes. This time, they did have enough food, and they were thankful to God and to the Native American Indians who helped them. And so they decided to have a special meal and festivities for 3 days to celebrate the successful harvest. And they invited the Wampanoag Indians to join them. And this is what we call the first Thanksgiving. Now today, most people celebrate this holiday by gorging themselves with food, turkey and other things, and watching football. I missed that, but I could tell it was funny. So knock, knock. Luke. Look at all the food we have to eat for Thanksgiving. Knock, knock. Philip. Fill up a big plate and dig in, because it's coming. Knock, knock. I'm a real pig when it comes to eating turkey. Knock, knock. Olive. I love Thanksgiving, but not everybody does. Because, well, first of all, because it's not a religious holiday like Christmas and Easter and Ramadan and Hanukkah, it's a holiday that everyone, all Americans, share together. It's something that's very rare and special about this holiday. Muslims, Jews, Christians, Hindus, people of all religions and people of no religion celebrate Thanksgiving all across this land this coming Thursday. However, there are two groups to whom Thanksgiving is a difficult and not always happy occasion. And one includes some of the Native Americans who wear black armbands each year on Thanksgiving in Plymouth because they don't want us to forget what happened after Thanksgiving. What happened was that the Native Americans and the settlers from England did not continue to cooperate and help one another for very long. And because of that, Native Americans lost lots of land and lives and loved ones. In honor of all that was lost and all who were lost, they don't want us to tell the story and make it sound like when Europeans came to America, we all just helped each other and lived happily ever after, which is how the story is sometimes told. Now, the other group for whom Thanksgiving is not always a happy day are the people who don't have enough food to eat. Right here in Oklahoma, 1 in every 4 people, Oklahomans, go to bed hungry every night. And one Native American from Tulsa, who is Choctaw Indian, had an idea, not just an idea, it was a vision. And he didn't just have this vision while sitting on the couch. He had this vision while sitting in a sweat lodge ceremony, a very sacred ceremony for his people. And the vision included seeing what we call the first Thanksgiving, what I just talked about. And it became clear in this vision how this is a story about Native American Indians taking great risk and sacrificing in order to feed people who were hungry and who were in danger. They weren't just feeding their own people. They weren't just feeding their own family or their own tribe. They were feeding strangers. But they were not just foreigners or invaders or illegal immigrants. They were brothers and sisters, children of the same Creator. And so instead of letting their brothers and sisters starve, they fed them and they tried to help them. And it was in this vision that this Choctaw Indian from Tulsa saw that Thanksgiving could be and should be a story and a day that calls and inspires Native Americans to lead the world in an effort to feed all the hungry people everywhere. Now, he calls it Thanksgiving for everyone. And he imagines that one of the legacies that Native American Indians have to offer the world and are meant to offer the world is to unite the globe and all people as one family to end hunger. And it gets better. The Native American man went to the chairwoman of the Wampanoag Indians. As you remember, they are the people who were part of the first Thanksgiving, who fed the pilgrims. And she, the leader, Cheryl Andrews Maltius, joining him to co-lead this effort to share the vision of Thanksgiving for everyone. And it gets even better. The two of them have told the vision to the National Congress of American Indians who met in Tulsa just last month. And it included leaders from all 567 tribes in the United States. And the leaders of all 567 tribes endorsed a resolution to make Tulsa the heart of bringing this vision into reality. And it gets even better than that. The man who was given that original vision not only lives in Tulsa, but his name is John Danner. Some of you might have met him because over the past year, when he's not traveling around the world to over 30 countries helping to feed the hungry, he and his mother with him sometimes have been attending All Souls. In fact, he's here with us this morning right now, and I'd like to, John, if you would just stand up so that we could see you, because it's a beautiful vision that you brought forward, and I just want folks to know. John, thank you. Now, why has Mr. Danner been coming to All Souls? First of all, because his vision is Thanksgiving for everyone. And another way to say for everyone is to say for all souls. Our church's vision of welcoming everyone into the family of all souls, based on a covenant, a promise that binds us together across our differences, is of the same spirit as the vision. There's a Native American prophecy, which is a story of how the world's people will someday come together and recognize the oneness we have with each other and the earth. The prophecy is found in different tribes through different stories and different images, but they all point to the same reality. The old prophecy is that the day will come when the native peoples of America will take leadership in bringing the world together as one family. In some visions, it's said that the seventh generation will lead the way. And the elders tell us that this is the seventh generation. And where better for it to begin than right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the Trail of Tears ended. Can you see the vision? That those in the seventh generation gathering together all the tears from the place where the tragic trail ends and turning the tears into a life-giving river to feed the world. A river that is salted with the tears of the ancestors of this land, that can water the parched and cracked soil of human interaction. And out of those cracks in the holy earth, the cracks in the holy human family, has grown a vision of hope and a harvest of food to feed everyone. The vision says that Native Americans are not destined to be a broken people who will wear black armbands and in protest forever. That they are a people chosen to help feed the world and unite us across our differences. And it's not a competing vision with those who have worn black armbands for many years. They have been the people who have continued to remind us that the vision and the story that we have been telling of Thanksgiving is not the life-giving vision of this land. They are the ones who've continued to prick our conscience and have encouraged us to look deeper, to discover a bigger vision for this day, for this land, and for its possibilities and its people. The vision, it seems, has been provided. And it's not about forgetting, because like the Holocaust and slavery and race riots and other things, we can never forget the tragedies that have bestowed our people. It's about it's about what the Indian leader Black Elk once said. I was standing on the highest mountain of them all, he said, and around about and beneath me was the whole hoop of the world. See, in Black Elk's vision, the hoop of the world referred initially to the communities of Native American people. In his vision, he saw the Native people going through a long time of suffering, during which the sacred hoop was broken. And then he saw that the people would begin to heal. Many Native American elders have told us that we have entered the time of healing and the coming together time. The sacred hoop is the symbol of that time of healing. And it's not just about Native Americans, it's about all of us. There is a saying in the Lakota language, Mitakuya Oyasin, all are related, or all my relations. It's a prayer of oneness and harmony with all forms of life, with people and animals, birds, insects, trees and plants, and even rocks and rivers, mountains and valleys. I want to declare this morning that I am stepping into the sacred hoop. And in the year leading up to the next Thanksgiving, I would like our congregation to explore with our Native American brothers and sisters what it means to step into the sacred hoop, and how all souls can be a part of this vision of Thanksgiving for everyone, born out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, spreading all over the world to feed the hungry. In a moment when I finish, we'll have our offering as we do each week, and we give that offering away. All the money we collect this morning will be used to make sure, to try to help make sure that no one in Tulsa and our wider community does not have food this Thanksgiving. I hope you'll give generously as a sign of your desire to play a part in a vision of ending hunger in our lifetime. It's a call that requires a response. Even if you did not give anything this morning, that's a kind of a response too. But give also as a sign of your willingness to follow the lead of the 567 tribes here in America and the United States, as they take inspiration from the past to heal the future and to offer a bequest unto the next 7 generations. Thanksgiving can be and must be about much more than stuffing ourselves and watching football, as fun as that is. It's about nothing less than the healing of creation and the helping of the hungry, and having hope that one day the world will unite as one family upon this earth. What better way to say thanks to the Creator? Let us be inspired by the Wampanoag Indians, who 400 years ago, when they saw that there were strangers who were hungry and struggling to survive, they responded courageously by taking from their own supplies and helping feed those who were hungry. Now it is our time to take our place in the circle of life and respond to the call from our relatives. Knock, knock. Wendy. When do you have enough, and when do you give some away? Only you know the answer. Jesus said, knock and the door will be opened. Ask and you shall receive. Knock, knock. This is not a joke. The hungry are knocking. They're asking. They're hungry. Let's feed them as an expression of thanks to God and all creation for this life and this day Mitakuya oyasin. To all our relations, I love you. Amen.